Have you ever wondered why people worship those who exploit them? Why nations bow before the corrupt? Why societies glorify the cruel? And why even the intelligent end up defending the very systems that destroy them? It's not just politics. It's something deeper, something ancient, psychological, almost spiritual. A sickness woven into human nature itself. Friedrich Nietzsche saw it more clearly than anyone. He called it the slave morality, the quiet disease of obedience, the instinct to kneel, the comfort of submission disguised as virtue. He said, "Man would rather will nothingness than not will," meaning, when people feel powerless, they would rather follow a tyrant than face the chaos of their own freedom. We think we're free because we can choose our leaders. But what if freedom terrifies us more than corruption? What if deep down we crave the chains? The truth is painful. We don't worship corrupt leaders because they lie. We worship them because they give meaning to our lies. They reflect what we secretly admire: strength without morality, certainty without empathy. They act on the impulses we repress. And in doing so, they make our own cowardice feel righteous. When a corrupt leader speaks with confidence, our insecurities bow in silence. When he breaks rules, we secretly cheer because we wish we could too, without consequence. When he demands loyalty, we comply because it feels safer than thinking for ourselves. This is the dark mirror Nietzsche held up to humanity. We don't love power. We love to belong to it. Throughout history, the same story repeats itself. In ancient Rome, people cheered for emperors who burned cities and silenced dissent, because those emperors made Rome feel eternal. In medieval kingdoms, peasants blessed their kings while starving, because divine hierarchy gave meaning to their suffering. And even today, we mistake charisma for wisdom, dominance for strength, manipulation for leadership. We have not evolved as much as we think. Nietzsche warned that democracy would not save us from tyranny. It would simply disguise it. The mob, he said, would always need idols, and when true philosophers fall silent, demagogues take their place. But here's the real tragedy. Corrupt leaders don't create the disease. They feed on it. They are mirrors, not monsters. They rise because millions of us hand them our fear and call it faith. When society feels lost, it doesn't seek truth. It seeks order. When people feel powerless, they don't ask for freedom. They ask for someone to tell them what to do. We say we want justice, but what we really crave is direction. A voice loud enough to drown our uncertainty, even if that voice is lying. Nietzsche's insight cuts like a knife. The weak will always need the strong, even if the strong destroy them. He didn't mean weak as an insult. He meant it as a warning. Because weakness is not physical, it's spiritual. It's the refusal to think, to question, to confront the truth even when it hurts. And once that weakness becomes collective, it becomes culture. A society that fears freedom inevitably breeds tyranny. Think about it. Every corrupt system thrives on the same pattern. First, they convince you that morality is weakness. Then they redefine obedience as strength. And finally, they make rebellion look insane. The result? You don't even realize you're enslaved because you're too busy feeling proud to belong. Nietzsche called this the herd, a mass of people who would rather be wrong together than alone in truth. He didn't hate the herd, he pitied it, because the herd isn't evil, it's afraid. We fear standing apart, so we merge with the crowd. We fear speaking up, so we echo the majority. We fear being judged, so we learn to judge others instead. And when someone breaks the illusion, when they expose the corruption, we turn against them, not the tyrant. Socrates was executed. Giordano Bruno was burned. Truth-tellers are not destroyed by tyrants. They're destroyed by the people who protect tyrants out of fear. But Nietzsche didn't stop at criticism. He offered a path, Not for everyone, but for those willing to rise above the herd. He called them the Übermensch, the higher human. Not a ruler or a god, but someone who creates their own values instead of inheriting them. Someone who looks at the corruption of the world and doesn't despair, but decides to live truthfully, in spite of it. The Übermensch doesn't worship power. He becomes power, not over others, but over himself. He conquers his own cowardice, his need for approval, his dependence on authority. That's the revolution Nietzsche wanted, not of politics, but of spirit. Because the true battlefield is not between rulers and ruled. It's between those who think and those who refuse to. So, why do people worship corrupt leaders? Because it's easier than worshiping themselves. It's easier to serve a lie than to bear the weight of truth. It's easier to kneel than to stand alone. Every time we refuse responsibility, a tyrant is born. Every time we silence our conscience, corruption grows another root. And every time we justify the unjust, we dig our own spiritual grave a little deeper. Nietzsche's dark truth isn't just about leaders, it's about us. We are the soil in which corruption blooms. The moment we stop questioning, the moment we stop thinking, the weeds of tyranny begin to grow. But here's the hopeful part. Corruption is not destiny. Power is not evil by nature. The problem isn't that people lead, it's that people follow without seeing. Nietzsche believed in transformation through suffering. That pain, if faced honestly, can awaken higher consciousness. The fall of corrupt empires is not the end. It's the cleansing before rebirth. History has shown it countless times. The crowd follows corruption, but individuals awaken truth. And when enough individuals awaken, the crowd begins to crumble. So ask yourself, are you thinking or are you following? Are you defending truth or are you defending comfort? Would you rather be loved for your obedience or respected for your defiance? Nietzsche's warning is not meant to make you despair. It's meant to wake you up. Because the same instinct that makes us obey can also make us rise. The same hunger for meaning that binds us to tyrants can drive us toward truth, if only we have the courage to see. The world will always have corrupt leaders, but they only reign as long as we remain blind. And blindness is not a curse, it's a choice. So maybe the real question isn't why people worship the corrupt. Maybe it's this: when will you stop?